Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing okay. Starting to enjoy some of the school holidays. Enjoying the sunshine, maybe? Well, not so much today, perhaps, but it has been sunny. So, today, I'm going to talk about standing firm. Standing firm. What's that mean? Well, it's really easy to lose your balance, isn't it, when you're standing on one leg? So if I do that, I'm standing on one leg, and I fall over. It's quite easy to do that, isn't it? Unless you've got good balance. I got terrible balance. But we've got two legs, and we've got 2 feet. So why would anybody want to try and stand on one leg? Now, in the Bible, there was a man called Paul, and he used to write lots and lots and lots of letters to lots and lots and lots of different churches, encouraging them to do what was right and say the right things to people. How would you feel? How cool would it be if somebody were to continually write to you, encouraging you, saying you're doing really great, saying you're doing really well, keep going, keep doing the right stuff? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? It'd be a really nice thing to do. We all like receiving good letters now and again. Now, today's passage from the Bible is about one of those letters. And it's from Philippians, the book of Philippians. And it's Philippians 3. And we're going to start at verse 17. And we're going to read through to 4. Chapter 4. So I'm going to say that again. It's Philippians 3. And we're going to start at verse 17. And it says, "Join together in following my example, brothers and sisters, and just as you have us as a model, keep your eyes on those who live as we do. For as often as I have told you before and now, I tell you again with tears in my eyes, many live as enemies of the cross. Their destiny is destruction. Their God is in their stomach, and their glory is in their shame. Their mind is set on earthly stuff, but our citizenship's in heaven. It means our community and our friends are going to be in heaven. And we eagerly await a Saviour from there, the Lord Jesus Christ, who, by the power that enables him to bring everything under his control, will, and this is true, will transform our lowly bodies so that they might be like his glorious body." Can you imagine? Can you imagine how that would be? And then it finishes then, and it says, "Therefore, my brothers and sisters, you whom I love and I long for, my joy and crown, stand firm in the Lord in this way." Dear friends, stand firm. Stand firm. Now, there's quite a lot going on in that letter. There's quite a lot happening. Paul is saying to all of his friends in the church to follow his example. Don't forget now, if you remember back in the earlier chapters, in the earlier books of the Bible, Paul was a bad guy. He was a really bad person. He did some awful things, and he really hated Jesus, really, really hated him. And here he is, asking the church to do what's right, live like he is. If God can change a person like that, I'm pretty sure he can change a person like me or a person like you. Now, there's loads of examples in the Bible where people have been really, really bad. And then they've turned and found Jesus and become really, really good and done some really amazing stuff. That is number one reason why we should listen to God, trust in his promises, and wait on Jesus. Because he loves us completely and totally in whatever place we're at, and he really wants us to understand who he is. So, in that letter, Paul is really upset. He says with tears in his eyes, doesn't he? He's really upset. There are people in the world who don't even recognise who God is. They don't want to know. They don't care. They just live their lives as they please, causing chaos, not really caring about anybody except themselves. Guess what? There's plenty of people in the world today that are in the exact same position. they steal things, they break things, they damage people, they hurt people. They don't really care as long as they're okay. They'll just carry on. And that's all that matters. That's the second reason to stand firm, trust in Jesus, and accept God for who he is. Because all he wants to do is look after us. He wants what's best for us, and to make sure we have the best possible life we can have. Who wouldn't want that? Somebody to look over you all the time, somebody to look out for you all the time, to make sure you're doing okay. If we've accepted Jesus and we truly, truly want to live that way, there's no point in wandering around being just like everybody else, doing just what everybody else is doing and talking what everybody else is talking. That's the whole point. Once you've accepted Jesus, you're not the same. You're living a life that's filled with promise, and that should show through in everything you say and everything you do. You should be a different person. That's the third reason we should stand firm, hold on to Jesus, and trust in God's promises. He loves us, not just a little bit, not just a huge bit, not just a ginormous bit. He loves us more than we can possibly imagine, more than anybody can ever tell you. The God who put all the different colours in the flowers, put the clouds in the sky, who designed everything we see and touch, loves us as individuals, loves us as people, loves us more than we can ever imagine. He just wants what's best for us. That's all he wants. He just wants what's best for us. So, how do you feel about being a Christian? About coming to church? About following Jesus? Some people think when they accept Jesus, life is going to be rocking. It's going to be rosy. It's going to be one big ride of fun and joy and smiles. In many ways, that's true, I suppose. I mean, Jesus did say he would give us an abundant life. Abundant, that's a big word. That just means Jesus is going to look after us and he's going to give us a life that's fulfilling, not just sat around wondering what's going on. We'll have a purpose, we'll have a reason. But he also said the world would grow to not like us very much. In fact, he said the world would grow to hate us, which is not a good thing. They're going to look on us as being boring, as being silly, as being pointless. Well, of course, some people think that. I'm sure some friends think that anyway when you talk about church. That's only natural, because they don't really understand what we're doing or who Jesus is. And if they ever knew who Jesus truly was, if they ever knew just how much he thought about them, maybe they wouldn't think it was quite so funny. Anyway, Jesus also said there's going to be trouble in life. It's not going to be fun and joy all the way. But most importantly of all, something else he said was that he would never, ever leave us. He would always be at our side, wherever we were and whatever we were doing, and we would always, always be able to turn to him. Even those that accepted Jesus and then decided against it and turned their back on him, walked away, even those, he's watching over them and just waiting, just hanging in and waiting for them to turn around and come back to where he should be. So no matter what we face and no matter where we go, hold on to Jesus. That's the fourth reason we should stand firm in his promises. Hold on to God and hold on to Jesus. He will always stay with us, he will always love us, and he will always walk with us. So, how do we learn to stand firm? How do we learn to hold on to Jesus? How do we learn to keep God's promises in our hearts? Have you ever noticed in school or college or work sometimes, wherever that may be, even in the street, there's groups of people that all hang out together? Now these groups, they usually think the same way, more or less. They pretty much act the same way most of the time. And they pretty much do the same things all together. If you become one of these people in that group, it doesn't take long for you to start thinking the same things and for you to start doing the same things and acting the same way. If we want to be that solid Christian, that real strong foundation in God, the person he wanted us to be, we should make sure we surround ourselves and we're hanging around with the right people. It's so much easier when people are encouraging you, supporting you, moving you on, telling you how well things are going, instead of laughing, pointing, making fun all the time. We've also got a lot of obvious tools, haven't we? If we really want to become stronger, we've got a toolbox full of stuff we can use. One of them is prayer. You can always pray to God. You can pray in the street, you can pray in the house, you can pray in bed, you can pray in the bus, you can pray in the car. You can always pray to God wherever you are, and he's always listening. And something you can be really assured of is he will always answer your prayers. Maybe not all the time in the way we expect or the way we want, or he may not even say yes all the time, but he will always answer us. And when he answers us, his answer will be for the best possible reasons. Perhaps more importantly, God will always look out for us as well. That time when you feel bad because I shouldn't really have done that, or something went a bit wrong there, that wasn't quite so good. Well, maybe that's a lesson where God's just saying, look, patting you on the head, saying, look, don't worry, that was a mistake, that was a bit silly, pick yourself up, let's move forward together. Maybe that time when you think, oh, that was awesome, I've done such a good thing there, I have been spectacular, it really worked, everything went really well. Maybe that's the time when God's patting you on the shoulder and saying, look, well done, keep going, keep doing that, that is brilliant. Imagine that. Imagine God himself tapping you on the shoulder and saying, well done. How amazing would that be? Whatever these moments are, yeah, you can be sure that they come from God, they're of God, and they're by God. And if you only accept that and understand when he talks to us, you will become stronger and you will be able to stand firmer in faith. When life throws you all these unexpected worries and concerns, you have to stand up and you have to say, God is with me, and that's all that matters. So we've also got a guidebook, haven't we? An instruction manual for life, maybe. Sometimes you might not feel like picking it up, but those are the most important times to flick through, read it, sit down and have a think about what it's saying. How long does it take to open the Bible, have a read of a couple of verses, quick think about them, 5, 10, 15 minutes, no time at all. The time it takes you to walk downstairs, you could be reading a verse and having to think about it. And that's what matters most, because they are the true words of God. They are his written words. If you want to understand what God is and what he's saying to you, you should read the Bible, because that's the instruction manual. It's there and it's in black and white. I mean, athletes, think of the Olympic athletes and people who do all these super sports. They don't get into shape with big six-packs and muscles like mountains by eating burgers and sitting around and waiting for something to happen. Yeah? They're surrounded by the right sort of things. They're surrounded by the right sort of tools. They're surrounded by the right sort of people. A single rugby player can't win a match by himself. Can you imagine one rugby player running a team of any other team? He'd get hurt and buried in the ground pretty quickly. He needs a team of people around him to help him, to support him, to get him over the line. Pick us up when they fall down. We all need people. What I'm getting at is we all need people to grow, help us be strong, and help us be firm. But they do have to be the right sort of people. No point in surrounding yourself with people who are just going to laugh and poke fun all the time. You need to surround yourself with people that will support you and have been where you are and understand what you're going through and want to be there for you and point you to God. It's always your own choice at the end of the day. No one's going to be able to force you into doing one thing or another. But if you want to make the right choice and you want to stand firm and you want to be a good, solid Christian, have that faith that will get you through all the difficult times, then you need to find the right people, you need to go to the right places, and you need the right tools. Make sure it's standing firm